So we're getting game one started with Whisker versus Veyoya. It has not been too long of a break since these players have played each other, as they just played each other at Take the Stock on Tuesday. And we're seeing Veyoya start off with the Sephiroth here after what seemed like the Sora was not working in this matchup. So let's see if he feels a bit more comfortable playing Sephiroth in this matchup.
Yep, and a quick 55 from Whisker here, and already looking quite comfortable. Gets the parry. That'll be an up air into sour up air. Still has the advantage, but not able to get anything off the down tilt there.
Yep. I think it's very key. I like the way Whisker is playing around that range that Sephiroth wants to be at. He definitely wants to be a bit more in the mid-range kind of area, trying to get the sweet spots of Sephiroth's sword. And you can see a bit of patience, but also the way that he pushes the button to push that pace right afterwards.
Yeah, and unfortunately he has to respect Veyoya on ledge there, because he does have a drop-down forward air, which is a very strong option. And does find himself getting forward aired, and that is the stock. Has no jump, and forfeits there.
Yep, great first stock. Great comeback from Veyoya. What seemed like a commanding lead from Whisker just turned into the favor of Veyoya, but it's going to take that side B for his troubles and going to even out the stocks for both these
That's a really
players.
good option against Sephiroth, because Sephiroth likes to pressure and then run back, and if Whisker can ever call that out, he can just jump side B. It is quite committal, but it is also a very good option.
Yep, for sure.
All right, doesn't get the jab there. Veyoya makes it back. Quite a bit of damage here adding. Surely that was a misinput there, unfortunately. Would have needed the full hop up air. Or an air.
Yep. Sure, I think both these characters also profit a lot of keeping you within that corner. Both these characters have amazing corner pressure options, with Sephiroth having that forward tilt and also having that back air to use along with that neutral B. But in the same breath, Roy has a ton of corner pressure, but that counter is going to take the second stock.
That was an amazing down air.
Good drop off counter from Veyoya.
Oh, good patience.
Nice trump.
Yes, let's trump.
Good trump, and we are even again. Both these characters not letting each other take too commanding of a lead. It feels like they're just trading blows at the current moment. But Whisker is taking a bit of a percent lead right now, and this is also where I noticed on Tuesday that Veyoya started to struggle a bit, where he'd keep it even for most of the game, but when it got to that last stock, I feel like the nerves just built up a bit, and he let Whisker take control of the game. So let's see if he can find a way to close it out here.
Kind of messing him up there on the orb. Whisker did whiff that up B, but the orb kind of saved him from getting punished.
Nice.
Has him on the ledge again. This will be a grab. Misses the back air. That was good mix up from Veyoya there. Wow, what
great call out. What a call out from Whisker. Can update the score.
Yeah. Veyoya getting a little bit too hungry there, holding in, and he will get us smashed.
And I think that's just the nature of Whisker having played Veyoya so many times at this point. He knows the habits that that Veyoya wants to go for. He knew he was going for that jump the second he saw him let go of that shield, and just going to call him out with that F smash. And that F smash has been something that Whisker has brought into his game, not to the point of where he's just mashing it, but it feels like the reads and the callouts that he's been getting based off of these F smash callouts have really improved his his punish game.
Definitely the tried and true Whisker classic right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see the stage pick, but we are going into game 2 right now.
I believe they went small battlefield.
Yep.
Small battlefield, got the music counter pick going on as well. And let's see how this goes into Veyoya's favor. This is Veyoya's counter pick. Switching it off of PS2. Maybe the space wasn't working too much in his favor, but you could definitely see that corner pressure already starting to apply, but that reversal by Whisker coming out.
Yeah, and Veyoya opting not to press anything there on the down throw.
Yeah, I love the way Whisker's keeping him at that corner at bay in the corner right now.
Oh, air dodges in, but only takes near 2. That could have been a lot worse. Goes for the jump collar, doesn't get it, and this is a reversal here. Air dodges in, does not get caught.
Nice. Playing a bit of footsies right now. You can definitely see Veyoya's trying to keep himself within that mid-range where Sephiroth is most efficient, but you can also see the way Whisker is using his shield, the run-up shields, to not allow him to keep playing at that range. He's really trying to break the
zone, but doing it a little bit too aggressively here. Kind of going in for like, he's kind of run-up jabbing, which is very risky because Sephiroth can easily outrange that. Like, he's really banking on like a call-out where like Veyoya's fading back, and then he catches him with the whiff on the jab. But and not working out so far. The damage here is racking up Hirako. Already 34 and rising, but does get the side B.
Going to take that 42%, but that side B is also going to kill him right before the Shadow Orb lets go. Great timing from Whisker. Now let's see if he can make a bit of a comeback here with a bit of a percent lead coming up for Veyoya.
Goes for the downer, doesn't get it. Misses it there too, but Whisker getting antsy. And, gets the up B.
Great call out from Veyoya.
Catches him going high, and this is almost a full stock lead here for Veyoya.
Sure.
But Whisker is not going to go next. He's absolutely trying to get this comeback here. Veyoya's been neutral get upping a lot. but it opts for attack out up there and does get it.
Yeah, the thing about Roy in these kind of situations is he can definitely mount up the percent very quickly. But the thing about it is Sephiroth can also keep you at bay. He's not a zoner, but he can play that zoning kind of style, especially with his side beam, and especially with the range of his sword has.
Oh, yeah, and I love that nair backer from Whisker there. Just obviously knows his combo percents, knows all the routes, knows the conversions, and is ready to pull out anything he needs to at any time.
F tilt. Veyoya going to close this out and going to close it out with that side B again. Catching him recovering high and going to take the second game. We have a 1-1 set at the current moment.
Oh yeah, that's an amazing option against Roy because, well, there in that situation, Whisker did go high, but even if he goes low, it can still two-frame him because Roy has this animation where when he up B's stabs to ledge, he kind of like reaches his arm up. So that is very good at two-framing that, and that's definitely something you might see again in this set.
For sure.
And we are sticking with the same picks right here. No reason for either player to switch. Already 1-1. Both had pretty strong games. And we are running it back to small battlefield.
Right.
Game 3.
This is definitely feels like what's going to change the tide of the set right now. We've definitely seen Whisker let his opponents, as Whisker is the higher seed in this pool, we've seen his opponents, he's let them take a game.
That was such a good run up.
But his comebacks right afterwards have definitely been how he's responded. He's responded in kind, letting them get that game, but also showing them why he's the higher seed in this pool.
That was a really good grab there. He was recognizing. Oh, that was also really nice not being. Anyway, so what Veyoya did there, it was he recognized that Whisker did not trust in the side B and was going to pause it after the second hit, and he went for the punish on the grab. Gotta watch out though because Whisker can mix him up and just finish the side B and kill him like on the spot, but that was good recognition from Veyoya there.
Beautiful counter, timing it with the Shadow Orb explosion as well as the neutraler from Veyoya. And going to catch some damage, but now letting himself, I think he slipped a bit too far there.
Yeah, and these side Bs for Whisker are not working out anymore. Gonna kind of have to switch it up.
Nice, I'm loving the back air pressure, but gonna miss that tech. I'm gonna get hit by that F tilt from Whisker, and Whisker takes the stock lead.
Sour jab is so hard to tech. Like, no one's ever expecting it. This is definitely a matchup where it matters a lot too, because Sour jab hits a lot more in Sephiroth because of how like slim he is. So it definitely wouldn't be the first time I've seen Sephiroth get hit by that. But
and the SD
does not
didn't get the snap ledge. Good job by Veyoya. For Veyoya, you take those SDs and you want to get that percent built up and make it an even game once again.
Man, yeah, he's kind of... He's really trying to press Veyoya right now. It's like kind of working, but like I feel like he's giving Veyoya some chances, but Veyoya's not quite capitalizing like fully on them.
And that might be why he's giving him those chances as well, as he knows that Veyoya is not at that point where he's too confident in confirming with all these Sephiroth. And the other thing is that like, although Sephiroth does have the tools to like snuff you out, his punish game I wouldn't call it too amazing, especially considering the way that you have to space it, and not gonna get the sweet spot of that downer, but still gonna rack up some damage. Nice run up F tilt. Keeping him at the corner. This is not where you want to be for Sephiroth.
But yeah, so Roy doesn't really have a response to that though, so Veyoya can, I wouldn't say freely throw it out because Whisker can hard call it out with like counter or like down air, but that is an option that Whisker has to watch out for on the ledge for sure.
And as you say that, Whisker now takes the a bit of a stock lead right now, but definitely at that kill percent. But the problem is now that wing is gone.
Right now. Oh, but really good grab from Veyoya there.
I like the wait, but I think he just didn't jump high enough to catch Whisker with that forwarder. He had the way, he had the read, but just did not execute at the proper moment.
Veyoya going for some kind of jab mix up there.
Nice drop up B. Now you're in dangerous territory. I'm a little bit
surprised he didn't go for drop down side B there, but maybe he missed and put it up B for side B, I'm not sure. But either way, we'll eat about 20% for that.
I feel like it did what it was supposed to do, and great timing on the recovery. He still got hit a bit. I don't know what it was by, but he did not get hit by like that.
I think he got hit by like the lingering hit of the neutral B Sephiroth, or the side B. I don't know if it's neutral B or side B.
Flare, yeah. And
I don't know a lot of the names of moves.
Yeah, that's fine, but Veyoya finally going to take that second stock and has wing out. Let's see if he can find a way to manage to bring this back. We've seen him bully a Whisker a bit off stage, but that back air going to send him flying. Good DI from Veyoya, and is going to make it back. Let's see if he can find a way to get him off stage and push that disadvantage, which Sephiroth is known to do. But that run up F tilt going to do it for game 3.
He got that a few times that game too, like the run up, just calling out, like we were saying earlier. yeah, he has to kind of, he can't really rising aerial all that well, so he kind of has to like jump and then back air, so he catches it inside the jump.
Yep, and that's what you want to do against a character like Sephiroth. That's what I was mentioning. You see Whisker's trying to play around that range that Sephiroth has. He can't really rise with those aerials, as you just said, and Whisker's playing around that by just running up and calling him out with those quick tilts that Roy has at his disposal.
Yeah, for sure.
Now we're seeing another music counterpick, but I believe we are staying in small battlefield here. I feel like the stage has worked perfectly for the both of them, so I don't mind them. And also the stages that you would think that Sephiroth does really well, especially in the case of a town and city, you just can't take Roy to those kinds of stages.
Totally. I am a little bit surprised here that that Whisker has not banned this stage, because although it is even, a lot of Roy stages are better for Roy. So like I feel like the monoplats plus town are both very strong stages, as well as battlefields, and even PS2 I think is stronger than this. But it's not a bad stage. It's just pretty even. But I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like he's been winning on this stage, so there's no reason to ban it.
Great job. Not
no jump here. Counter goes high and gets it. That's massive. Veyoya definitely needed that. Very unfortunate for him there.
But that's the good thing about Whisker. He's not like he's mixing up the different options that Veyoya goes out for, because we saw that up B being used a bit earlier in the set and not going to tech. And this might do it.
Yeah, he'll die.
Good stuff by good reversal by Veyoya to take the stock.
Yeah. And a little bit shaky here, but Veyoya holding on to his lead here. I feel like he's kind of like letting Whisker dictate the pace of neutral a lot, though. That is the thing. Is like where Sephiroth is strong in this matchup is he kind of controls neutral a lot of the time with like his range, but he's really letting Whisker kind of maneuver around him, I feel. But right now, he is not doing that. Getting a lot of percent going. He's already almost lapped him.
Yeah, but I feel like that's just the nature of when you're playing against a fast character like Roy. Roy can explode on you very quickly. That, yeah, you want to try and dictate the pace, but Sephiroth is not that fast of a character. So that pace he really wants to play at really only works efficiently at those, like, slower kind of characters. And I'm not saying absolutely slow, but these slower kind of characters that play, like, that mid-range.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he missed the recovery there. And both players are kind of dying a little bit off stage here.
As it should. Both of them are pushing that disadvantage, and there's that up B that was working so well for him in the first two games.
That option's so good, man. It does so much damage and it kills like a truck.
Yep.
Sending him all the way to the blast zone.
Great counter, gonna call out.
God, they counted 35.
Yep, of course, Sephiroth definitely having one of the more powerful counters, but also another counter. We're seeing a lot of counters being tossed out right now.
Man, Sephiroth's moves are so good, but like, what really does him in is just he has a lack of like a really like fast option. But like he has some good moves, man. Like good range, good kill power, great damage, but just very light and lacks a lot of like safe, fast buttons to like press on Whisker. He really has to commit to whatever he does and like call out Whisker's movement, which to his credit, this game he's done quite well. But another side B, and that's been the killer this set, is a lot of these side Bs and like mix-ups.
All right, let's see if Veyoya can find a way to close this out, having him already at 77%. Getting a bit desperate with that counter. You can't let Whisker get too much of an advantage here. That was a very risky side B, and you can definitely see the percentage starting to mount up a bit. That could have been really bad. But has him at disadvantage and uses that up B a bit too early.
So Whisker definitely could have punished that up B there. It has a lot of lag. And as a fellow Roy main, that's something I do know, is that up B, like, it has so much lag, so he definitely could have like dropped down Nared or something, but I guess, you know, he's at such high percent. If he messes something up, he could just die. So I also understand kind of the perspective of just taking the stage back. And he's still down about 70%, but Roy, you know, Roy's
Sephiroth
Roy.
Is that kill percent right now, especially with all that rage that Whisker has mounted up right now.
Oh my god, I don't know.
He's baiting a lot of things right now with the way he's dashing in and back and forth, and the way that Roy does it, he does it at such an efficient percent.
This is definitely Jair percent too, and also down tilt tech chases too. We haven't really seen Whisker use down tilt at all. He's used his shield pressure a little bit, but like he's really not used down tilt.
And Wing is out, but that back air.
He's getting callouts. Veyoya's getting antsy. Oh, good forward air though. Again, that option.
This is where you have to find a way to take it, and
good roll.
Yep, not a lot of
I'm not gonna lie, Hirako, I thought that was about to be a shield break, but we are going to game 5.
Great patience by Veyoya, keeping himself steady in the pace that he was playing, despite all the hits that he was taking from Roy, and managing to bring it back to a game 5.
Yeah, and they're not going to be running it back. They're going to be doing bans. I think Whisker's definitely going to try and take him somewhere else, because the start of that game was heavily Veyoya favored. Whisker fought to bring it back, but he couldn't quite do it. So I feel like if we have a stage like Town or Smashville, it would be like way easier to make those comebacks than a stage like Small Battlefield, because it is way harder to kind of catch up and rebuild the percent and get those cheesy kills like we do see on Town and the likes of Smashville too. Just with like the closer blast zones, definitely would allow for some even earlier kills on an already ludicrously like early killing character. So I definitely think we are not going back to small battlefield. I'm assuming Veyoya bans Smashville, Town, and Hollow Bastion, I'm assuming. So I think we might be seeing PS2.
I think they're going back to small battlefield.
We're going back. Small battlefield will be the choice for Game 5. And yeah, we are not switching matchups this late. So Veyoya kind of infamous for the Sora, and he's gone as far as I've seen solo Sephiroth today. So very interesting from him. I guess he's kind of feeling confident in his old main. That's nice to see, right?
I think it's just more so that the matchups have called for it. Like I said, when they played on Tuesday, he did play Sora in this matchup for one game, and it did not work, and then switched to Sephiroth and saw much more success. So I feel like in these past couple of days, he's kind of studied up on which matchups he wants to play Sephiroth and Sora in, and I do feel like we'll most likely eventually see the Sora in this pool. I just don't feel like the matchups have really called for it at the current point.
And I really like what he did there on Veyoya. So Whisker did jab on his shield, and he rolled through, and he just took back center stage, which I think is a very underrated option against Roy when you're just pressuring your shields. Like, force him to respect roll, right?
Nice. You can see both these guys just trading blows in.
Ooh, that hit. Very surprising. Oh, he's got the orbs.
Just barely catching Whisker, dropping his shield, and
if he
very
down
close
smashed
from
there,
his
that
shield
was
break.
it. That was curtains if he down smashed. That could have been huge.
I'm liking the pressure. The pressure that Veyoya is putting on Whisker right now is definitely far more than he's taken before. And wow, unfortunate SD, but only at 70. Already has him at 78%. So there's definitely a couple more F tilts before he could take the stock.
Yeah, and a bit of a nightmare scenario there for Veyoya. You never want to SD like that in a game 5. It's just not.
Absolutely, but you can't let it knock your mental too much. You have to keep playing the game. You have to keep moving.
I could not agree more.
I'm at 85%. You can definitely see he's trying to space out a bit more, and I'm liking the way Veyoya is using his options. Like, he's tossing them out, but he's not tossing them out to the point where he's coming off as too desperate. He's still playing in that range that Sephiroth is comfortable in, and that Jer in the back here not going to kill just yet, but you can definitely see that corner pressure is mounting up.
That was so close there. So first he got saved by a grab trade on the side B, and then the sour spot of backer will be connecting there instead of the Swede. So that could have gone south quick for Veyoya there.
I'm loving the way he's using that. Nice good use of the short hops, and he's just spacing around. I love the way the range he's playing at right now is so well, but he just has to find a way to manage to take this stock right now. And Whisker is really holding on to this stock at
That was a really good wave bounce. I mean, Veyoya is playing really well right now. Like, let's be clear, like, this is not, like, totally out of his grasp to bring this back. But
as we
he's
say
just got to
he has to
consolidate and find some like big hits here.
He has to take the stock. That's the most important part. We keep mentioning how well he's playing within that range, but the problem at the current moment is he is down a stock at the moment, and he's down almost a full stock. And now you're definitely starting to see more of his options become desperate, and that's what happens when you get desperate against where you take that side B and that stock, and now down 3-1, only at 133. And there it is.
That's scoops, baby.
Yep.
Call him the ice cream man. Holy crap.
Good up tilt call out from Veyoya. Let's see if he can manage to bring this back. Sephiroth definitely having a X factor, which is the wing, but also the efficiency of how that wing works can definitely not work in Sephiroth's favor at time.
That was a very interesting up B there from Veyoya. It doesn't quite work out. And I feel like he's just kind of not able to break the shield pressure. Like, Whisker's just, like, he's threatening to pull the trigger, like, any moment, and, like, the pressure is really getting to Veyoya, I feel. Like, he's dropping shield and stuff he wouldn't normally do. He's kind of jumping into stuff like that, right?
And that's just the nature of when you're down a stock. You can definitely see that options are getting a bit more desperate, especially when you're in a game 5 scenario. You want to find a way to take this. And again, this is what happens when you get desperate, especially not just against a character like Roy, but against a player against Whisker who catches your habit so quickly in the middle of the set. The efficiency that he takes advantage of with it manages to take the game and the set.
And you saw kind of how that set ended compared to how it started. Like, Veyoya felt like he had to just stand shield, and Whisker jabbed him, and then he kind of faded back, and Whisker read that. And at the beginning of the set, you know, he would have kind of tried to space and get around, but he kind of opted to stay in shield there. So that's kind of a sure sign that you're kind of feeling the pressure. And against Roy, you never want to hold shield. You really want to move around his hitboxes, especially if you have the speed of Sephiroth. You really need to be trying to kind of compete with his hitboxes. But, I mean, it was hard there. Just nothing was really working out for him.
Yep, we can see the replays as well. There was a lot to look at in this set, especially with the way both these characters punished each other in that disadvantage. Whisker keeping him in the corner, but we also saw the way that Veyoya was using that up B. I felt was the most efficient portion of what he said. So if there's anything to build off from that set, is the way that he was using that up B to call out Whisker's recoveries in that Roy disadvantage state.
That was a really good sequence too, because he started also with him F tilting, reading him, holding in, and then after that punishing him again for trying to go high. So all the thing about that is that Whisker stopped going high after kind of like game 3, so he really wasn't getting those punches anymore.
Yeah,
that was a good F tilt too. Again, just like running up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing about Roy is like as much as he slows it down and kind of like methodically works his way in, at any given moment he can just run in and do it. Like he can just do an option, and he's always like Whisker plays in this a threat range where he's like always like scary, and it's just really hard for a lot of players to deal with.
So I don't even think that was the sour spot. It was just the tip end of the blade, feeling like Marth, and it's going to take that last stock in that set. But I think right now, as we're watching the replays, we're getting pickles and cake set up for our next set.
Another great set.